You wake up one day with the most intense, gut-wrenching abdominal cramps. The kind that make you like double over, and within hours you're trapped in a one-sided, emotionally abusive relationship with your toilet. I'm talking about watery, explosive, I hope I can make it to the bathroom in time diarrhea that doesn't quit. You drag yourself to the doctor, they run a few standard tests, they come back with negative results, and then they hand you a bottle of Pepto, it sends you on your way, sympathetic shrug, and say, well, you're just having a really bad time with your lunch.
Make it quick.
I've had explosive diarrhea all morning and I'm crapping all over the school.
Not touching that.
But you aren't having a bad time. You're currently housing a coccidian protozoan, a microscopic spore-forming nightmare that is turning the bowels of thousands of Americans into a literal biological disaster zone. And here's the ugly truth that the public health agencies won't tell you. Because of how our diagnostic system is built, your lab is likely failing to catch this parasite by design. It's a systemic diagnostic failure that leaves people in a cycle of agonizing, explosive misery for weeks. It's a topic worth digging into right here on Black Box Warning.
I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time, got no filter, I got no filter, no filter, I got no filter, no filter, I got no filter, no filter, I got no filter.
For anybody new to the channel, my name is Liz. I am a pharmaceutical chemist, and in a previous life, I am also an ASCP licensed medical technologist. Now, what that means is I spent my time in clinical labs, several decades actually, looking at some of the most disgusting body fluids and what's in them.
That's nasty.
I've spent more time staring at human excrement through an ocular lens than any person in civilized society ever should be able to claim.
That is one big pile of shit.
I was the poop queen at one point in time, the person tasked with finding the needle in the world's most disgusting pathogen-riddled haystack.
You will remember to wash your hands before you eat anything.
When it comes to Cyclospora, this little bugger is out to get you, for sure. Let's talk about our little friend, Cyclospora caetaniasis. Scientifically, it's an obligate intracellular coccidian protozoan. Now, obligate means that it's a total stage 5 clinger. It must live inside your cells to survive. When it's shed in your stool, it's an oocyst form, which basically is a biological bunker. It's a parasite that's gone to survival school. It needs time in the environment, days or weeks, to sporulate. It sits on your cilantro, soaking up the warmth, maturing into its final evil form.
The Cyclospora infection cycle in the human body. Ingestion. You consume contaminated food or water containing the parasite in its infectious stage, called an oocyst. Exustation. Once inside the gut, the oocyst releases smaller, mobile parasites called sporozoites. Intracellular invasion. These sporozoites penetrate the epithelial cells of the upper small intestine, where they grow, multiply, and go through both asexual and sexual reproduction. Rupture. As they multiply and mature, they rupture the host cells and release new parasites to invade neighboring cells, causing inflammation and the characteristic watery diarrhea.
Unlike bacteria, which may die if it gets too cold or too dry, these oocysts are survivors. They're even resistant to chlorine, the stuff in your pool and the stuff in municipal water to try to clean it. They can survive in the soil for months. And if you think a quick rinse is going to do anything other than give them a bath or piss them off, then you're dead wrong. Now, why is this so hard to diagnose? Well, when you go to the doctor, they're going to order what's called an O&P exam, which is an ova and parasite exam. And trade secret, 90% of the time, the parasites are actually missed. It takes a decent amount of skill to actually do this. The ova and parasite test is kind of like a gross version of Where's Waldo. We use an acid-fast stain, then carbol fuchsin, wash it with acid alcohol, and then counterstain with malachite green. Now, under the scope, you're looking for these tiny little 8 to 10 micrometer spheres that are acid-fast, meaning they hold the stain while the background washes away. They just look like these teeny-weeny little needles in a haystack. Very hard to find. If the lab tech doing this test hadn't had enough coffee that day or doesn't have the skill to really do this test, then it's easily missed. These tiny little spheres are easily hidden and a lot of time are mistaken for background debris. You have to do at least 3 different samples to ensure that you're covering all your bases. I remember this one case vividly. There was this person who had been suffering for like 3 weeks. They had been to like 3 urgent cares. They had had several negative stool cultures, and they were told that they were probably suffering from some sort of stress-induced IBS. Then I was looking at their follow-up specimen, and, the one nobody wants to look at, and I saw these tiny refractive spheres. The senior pathologist walked over, glanced at the slide for 2 seconds and said, "Oh, it's just yeast. Move on, Liz. We are behind in hematology." I knew it wasn't yeast, and I didn't care about the backlog. I pulled out the reference atlas, did the acid-fast stain specifically for Cyclospora, and there they were, glowing bright red against the green background. I basically had to hold the lab hostage until they agreed to report it out. That patient got their diagnosis, got the correct antibiotics, and recovered. But how many people are just told, "Oh, it's just yeast," or they're sent home to suffer? It happens all the time. Now, a lot of people really freak out over announcements like this, and while you're supposed to pay attention to them, don't let them scare the crap out of you because, while this is called an outbreak by the FDA, I call it just another Tuesday in the medical industrial complex. There's a lot of games that are played with terms like outbreak, pandemic, epidemic. A lot of it is tied to political interest, and it has a lot to do with how much the media pushes messages like this. But you do have to ask, is our food system failing us? Well, the answer to that is absolutely. It's a global supply chain where a head of lettuce travels more miles than most people do in a year. The Cyclospora oocysts don't care about your political affiliation with your local health department's press releases. We're playing Russian roulette with produce, and we're acting surprised when the gun goes off. So what do? Well, if you're a vegetable eater, you're trying to dodge landmines. You're washing with vinegar, you're scrubbing with brushes, maybe even cooking your greens to 158 degrees Fahrenheit, which, let's be honest, turns that healthy salad into a sad, soggy mess. And even then, it's not 100% foolproof. You're essentially just reducing your odds of rolling the dice on a parasite. But here is the ultimate unfiltered truth that the health establishment is not going to tell you. You don't have to play the game at all. When you go carnivore, when you cut out the plant matter entirely, the salads, the superfoods that are really just vectors for protozoans, you remove the threat. I don't worry about Cyclospora. I don't worry about leafy green recalls. I don't worry about washing my dinner. I eat nutrient-dense animal fats and proteins, and I can say with total confidence that my gut health has never been better. You want to avoid the outbreak? Stop eating the delivery system for the parasite. So I hope this information was helpful to you, and thank you so much for watching. And if you like the video, if you could hit the like button, it really helps the channel a lot, and I would appreciate it. And make sure that you hit the notification bell and subscribe so that you don't miss out on more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.